What if I told you that everything you think you know about taste is wrong? Well, what if the delicious sweetness of a ripe strawberry isn't actually happening on your tongue, or the savory depth of a slow-cooked stew? It feels like a strange question, a trick almost. We live our lives believing in a simple, direct connection between our mouths and the food we eat. We take a bite, we chew, and feel sensations on our taste buds. Then we declare something delicious or bland. We instinctively point to our tongue as the hero. But the truth is far more complex and wondrous, centered not in our mouths, but deep within the folds of our brain. The tongue is merely the first messenger in a long chain of command. Think of flavor not as a single note, but as a grand symphony. The brain is the conductor at a podium interpreting a score written by all our senses. Your tongue can only play 5 basic notes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, umami. The nose contributes thousands of notes. Your eyes set the stage, creating expectations. Your ears hear crunch and sizzle, adding rhythm. Your hands feel texture. Your mouth feels texture. All these streams race along neural pathways to the central processing unit, your brain. Here, in this quiet, dark space, the magic happens. The brain doesn't just receive signals, it interprets, filters, and weaves them into a single experience. It draws on memories, emotions, and expectations to build the final masterpiece. Flavor is a complex, multi-sensory perception, an illusion the brain constructs. One of the most persistent myths in the world of food science is the tongue map. You have probably seen it in a science textbook or a health class poster from your childhood. This colorful diagram neatly divides the tongue into zones, claiming that we taste sweetness only on the tip, sourness on the sides, bitterness at the back, saltiness along the front edges. It presents taste as a simple geographical fact. However, this map is entirely wrong. It was based on a mistranslation of a German research paper from 1901 and has been thoroughly debunked by modern science for decades, yet it stubbornly remains in our collective consciousness. The truth is that you can perceive all 5 basic tastes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, umami, on all parts of your tongue where taste buds are present. This myth feeds into a larger misunderstanding: taste as a solitary sense. We are taught to think of our 5 senses as separate channels. We see with our eyes, hear with our ears, taste with our tongues. This compartmentalized view fails to capture the integrated way our brain works. Flavor perception is a team sport. The tongue is an important player, not the star. It provides the basic framework, raw data of sweet or salty. But that's like a black and white outline of a masterpiece. It gives shape, but no color, depth, or emotion. Start by acknowledging the tongue's true role. It is covered in tiny bumps called papillae, which contain our taste buds. Each taste bud houses dozens of taste receptor cells, specialized to detect chemical compounds for the 5 basic tastes. When a sugar molecule touches a sweet receptor or a sodium ion touches a salt receptor, a signal is sent to the brain. That's the traditional definition of taste, a chemical detection system. But it's only the opening act in a multisensory play directed by the brain. The reveal: the brain is a master integrator. It doesn't care if a signal came from the tongue or the nose. It fuses incoming sensory data into a single perception. So when you eat a strawberry, you don't experience sweet and sour from the tongue, then fruity aroma from the nose, then soft texture from the mouth as separate events. You experience one thing: the holistic flavor of strawberry. This seamless integration is one of the brain's remarkable feats, and it's the key to the true science of flavor. It explains why a stuffy nose makes food taste like cardboard, why a crunchy chip seems saltier than a soft one, and why your grandmother's cooking tastes better than anyone else's. If the tongue provides the basic outline of taste, then the sense of smell is the artist that fills in all the vibrant colors and intricate details. While we can only taste 5 basic qualities, our olfactory system can distinguish between thousands, perhaps even trillions, of different aromas. This vast aromatic library is what allows us to tell the difference between a lemon, lime, raspberry, cherry. Without smell, both pairs of fruits would register on the tongue in a similar way, primarily as sweet, sour. It is the aroma that gives each its unique identity. The partnership between taste and smell is so crucial that scientists have a name for it: retronasal olfaction. This process works through 2 distinct pathways. The first is what we normally think of as smelling: orthonasal olfaction. Smell coffee brewing, smell baking bread. This pathway sets our expectations and prepares the brain. It's the appetizer for the main event, often triggering memories before the food touches our lips. A single whiff can make our mouth water. The second, and arguably more important pathway for flavor, is retronasal olfaction. This happens inside your mouth as you chew and swallow. Chewing warms and breaks down food, releasing volatile aromatic compounds. Those fragrant molecules travel up the pharynx into the nasal cavity from behind. They stimulate the same olfactory receptors used for external smelling. Because these aromas arrive as the tongue detects sweet, salty, sour, the brain binds the signals together. The brain creates the perception that aroma and taste are happening inside the mouth. This is why holding your nose while you eat has such a dramatic effect. Pinching your nostrils blocks orthonasal and retronasal pathways. Release your nose. The trapped aromas flood your olfactory system, and the flavor rushes in. Beyond taste and smell, the physical sensation of food in our mouth, its texture, plays a profound role in shaping our flavor perception. Texture is detected by a host of mechanoreceptors in our mouth, tongue, and even our teeth, which send signals to the brain about pressure, vibration, and structure. Think about the difference between a potato chip and mashed potatoes. Both can be made from the same ingredient and can be equally salty. But the experience of eating them is entirely different. The sharp, loud crunch of a chip provides an auditory signal and a tactile signal that the brain interprets as crispy and fresh. This satisfying snap can actually enhance the perception of saltiness and make the food seem more enjoyable. In contrast, the smooth, creamy consistency of mashed potatoes offers a different kind of pleasure. The lack of sharp edges and the full mouth-coating sensation can be interpreted by the brain as comforting, rich, and luxurious. Food scientists, or gastrophysicists, are masters at manipulating these textural properties. A creamy yogurt might be perceived as fuller and richer than a watery one, even if their fat and sugar content are identical. The texture itself becomes a signal for richness. Chewy foods like a good sourdough bread or a well-cooked steak require more effort to break down, which can make them feel more substantial and satisfying. Texture can also control the release of flavor over time, acting as a delivery system for taste and aroma. A hard candy dissolves slowly, providing a long, sustained release. Cotton candy, almost entirely air, dissolves instantly, an intense but fleeting sugar rush. Food engineers encapsulate flavor molecules in fats that melt at body temperature, ensuring the flavor burst happens precisely when the food is in the mouth. The brain links the physical sensation of melting or dissolving with the chemical sensation of taste, creating a complex and dynamic experience. Even the sound that texture makes is part of the equation. Louder crunches lead people to rate chips as fresher and crispier, dampened crunches feel stale. Our ears are part of tasting. Temperature is one of the most underrated players on the flavor team. It may seem like a simple physical property, but it has the power to dramatically alter our perception of taste, aroma, texture. Our taste buds themselves function optimally within a specific temperature range. When food or drink is too hot or too cold, it can temporarily numb our taste receptors, making them less sensitive. This is why a lukewarm soda often tastes cloyingly sweet compared to an ice-cold one. Cold doesn't remove sugar. It dulls our tongue's ability to perceive sweetness, making the drink seem more refreshing and balanced. Consider a scoop of ice cream. It is perfectly sweet when frozen. Let it melt into a puddle at room temperature and you'll find it overwhelmingly sugary. Many chefs serve desserts warm. Heat enhances perceived sweetness and richness, making desserts feel more decadent and satisfying to the brain. Temperature also has a massive impact on aroma. Warmth increases volatility, so a hot cup of coffee releases a powerful aroma. A cold brew smells subdued until close. Finally, temperature transforms texture. Cold cheese can be hard, crumbly, and muted. At room temperature, it becomes softer, creamier, more pliable, releasing aromatic compounds. The brain processes this shift and integrates it into overall flavor perception, which is why connoisseurs serve cheese at room temperature. Temperature is not just a setting, it's an active ingredient in the recipe of flavor. All the sensory signals we've discussed, the 5 basic tastes from the tongue, the thousands of aromas from the nose, the textural feelings, the temperature data, are just raw information. They are like individual musicians in an orchestra, each playing their own part. The true magic happens when these signals reach the brain, the master conductor that brings them all together into a harmonious symphony of flavor. The brain does not passively add these signals up like a calculator. Instead, it engages in a highly active and creative process of interpretation, shaping the final perception based on a lifetime of experience, memory, and expectation. If someone serves you a glass of white wine artificially colored red, many will report tasting red wine notes, even though they are drinking a white. Expectation triggered by color can override tongue and nose signals. This is the placebo effect on your dinner plate. Memory is another profound shaper of flavor. Aroma can act like a time machine, bringing emotions to the surface. They become part of flavor. Your brain is seasoning the soup with love, nostalgia, and comfort. You do not need a laboratory to witness the incredible power of your brain in constructing flavor. You can conduct a few simple experiments in your own kitchen. Close your eyes, pinch your nose, chew a jelly bean. You'll detect sweetness or sourness in texture, but the specific flavor is missing. Release your nose and flavor rushes in via the retronasal pathway. Pour a clear beverage into 3 identical glasses. Leave one clear, color one red, one green. Friends often describe red as cherry or strawberry, green as lime or green apple. Even though all three are identical, eyes shape expectation. With noise-canceling headphones, it's harder to tell which carrot is fresh. Remove the sound and you weaken the perception of crispness. Our ears are part of tasting. These tests vividly show how interconnected your senses are. They reveal that taste is so much more than your tongue. The brain runs the flavor show. We began with a simple question. What if taste is not just about your tongue? By now, the answer is clear. The tongue is merely the opening act, introducing the basic themes of sweet, sour, salty, bitter, umami. But the full, rich, and memorable experience we call flavor is a grand production staged entirely within the theater of the mind. It is a multi-sensory illusion, masterfully crafted by the brain. This is the climax of our story, the great reveal. You don't taste food. Your brain does. This understanding empowers us. It explains daily experiences and gives us a new lens for food. Chefs, food scientists, and marketers use color, sound, and story to shape perception before a bite. So, next time you eat, pause. Engage all your senses. Give your brain a richer palette of sensory ingredients. Flavor is not a fact your tongue reports. It is a story your brain tells. Flavor is an illusion your brain creates.